Okay, we're continuing now. This is part 7 of the best of the West in art, movies, and music. First I'll mention here, and by the way, I get compliments from like really famous people send me emails of how much they love this book. I'm telling you, this is the book that people in person they fight to grab it out of my hands. It's a masterpiece of a book. It's beautiful. All right, so here is John McCormack, and that's his best album, A Christian Celebration. He's I think the best tenor who ever lived. Yeah, I know Pavarotti's got a more perfect voice, and my favorite song in terms of classical religious song would be "Haste with Joy, a Man's Desire." But he's got tons of great songs, and he's just pleasant, and it's in English, because he's an Irish guy. Let's see here. I talk a little bit about Bach as like the Apollo of classical music. Handel is the Hercules of classical music. What Italy was to the Renaissance painting with Botticelli, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Caravaggio, Germany was to classical music with Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart, and Handel. Okay, just a few internet stars. The best dating coach I could find is Casey Zander. The dating coaches are great. The college, I'm showing you here the best of the West. Who's the best, in the Western world at doing something that's useful and important? So Casey Zander is the best of the dating coaches. College professors, psychology professors, they're all worthless pieces of crap. They can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. They can't give you relationship advice. There's a lot of other good ones. Alexander Grace, I'd say the next best, and he's also great. And there's other ones that are good. Best female dating coach would be Pearl Davis and Sarah Eaton. They're both really good. Pearl Davis, she thinks like a man. It's real interesting, and she understands women too. The Sarah Eaton lady is really good as well. Okay, the greatest American painting of all time, that'd be Prayer at Valley Forge, by Arnold Freiberg. Okay, it's great. It's a masterpiece. G.W. is sitting there at Valley Forge praying next to his horse. It's a masterpiece. Okay, who's the best popularizer of classical music? Andre Rieu. Okay. Best Christian song for lifting weights, Easter song, He Has Risen. You stand up with the weights if you're squatting, for example. Best book for negotiating, Start with No. Okay. Negotiating Tools the Pros Don't Want You to Know. I thought that was a good book. I've in the past had to deal with a whole bunch of negotiation things, and I can tell you that's a great book. Okay. I think the Office Smarts, What They'll Never Tell You by R. Don Steele is also a masterpiece of Office Smarts negotiation type book. Okay, the best soft rock song for daydreaming, I Am Sailing. It's like when you're a kid looking out the window at school. Daydreaming. It's a great song. Rod Stewart's great. That's the good old days when I was a young guy listening to that stuff. Best heavy metal song ever made, 16th Century Greensleeves by Rainbow with Ritchie Blackmore, Ronnie James Dio. It's just a masterpiece. The live version's a masterpiece, like 7 minutes long. I used to listen to all that stuff in college. A lot of heavy metal. Heavy metal that was melodic. I don't like grunge heavy metal, but I like the heavy metal that has a good melody. It's sort of like, 90% of everything is crap, but the top 5% of heavy metal is magnificent. Ritchie Blackmore, Ronnie James Dio, Rainbow, Iron Maiden, all that stuff. The best heavy metal group overall would be Iron Maiden. The best wrestling song would be Stranglehold by Ted Nugent. I Got You in a Stranglehold. Front headlock, The best Irish song, Wearing of the Green. Best Spanish Christian song, Adios Le Pido by Juanes. It's a masterpiece. Juanes is the best guy if you're trying to learn Spanish and you want to learn it with music. Fotografia would be the best song by him to learn Spanish, but Adios Le Pido is just a masterpiece. It's a good energy song, good for lifting weights. Best modern male Christian singer, Keith Green. Sort of like folk music, Christian music. Best male gospel singer would be Sam Cooke. These are all the best of the best. If you're interested in these genres, the best female gospel singer would be Naomi Raines, and her best song would be Promises. Sam Cooke's best song would be Near to Thee. Okay. Best modern female Christian singer would be Lauren Daigle. So you can just type these in your YouTube browser. You'll see them how great they are. Her song Come Alive is a real good one. She's got a lot of good songs. The best female gospel song. Oh, well, I already mentioned Promises, but Break Every Chain by Tasha Cobbs is an absolute masterpiece too. All these things energize you and put you in a good mood. There's the best gospel song by a male gospel singer would be Nearer My God to Thee by Sam Cooke, masterpiece. Best country music Christian song by a male singer would be I Saw the Light by Hank Williams Sr. Best country music song, best country music album would also be by him in terms of Christian songs. Hank Williams, Pictures from Life's Other Side. It's just an awesome album. I Heard My Mother Praying is my favorite song on there. Best country music female singer, If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again. Similar to Hank's song, but it's different. Loretta Lynn, she's got a fantastic voice. 10,000 Angels, you know, Coal Miner's Daughter. A lot of great stuff. I love country music. A lot of it's Scots Irish. It's great. It's very uniquely American as well. Best Elvis Christian song, How Great Thou Art. Okay, most of Elvis stuff is not as intensive. This is a definitely Christian, almost sort of a. Okay, smartest person who ever lived, Isaac Newton. You know, he spent more time studying the Bible and writing about the Bible than he did doing science. And he said, every discovery is an answer to prayer. You'll see that if you actually study the history of science, okay? The best Bible story everybody should know is Esau, and it kind of represents the West. The stupid West has traded its great history, its great birthright, for a bunch of nonsense, Drag queen story hour, modern art, fake crap, bogus public schools, etc., etc. So, it's hidden from you, but it hasn't gone. It's still out there. You can still learn and regain Western civilization. It's magnificent. Okay, the saddest Christmas song, It Won't Seem Like Christmas Without You, Elvis. Elvis has got the best Christmas albums. They're just great. I listened to them 1,000 times. After the first love is over, Christmas seems routine until the first sibling has a baby. And it seemed like Christmas ended again when my mother died. Then the first child makes it seem special again. One of the best all-time movie soundtrack songs would be Impossible Dream from Don Quixote. To dream the impossible dream. Okay, best counter-Reformation saint. My favorite would be St. Ignatius of Loyola. He's a former soldier. He's no puss. He's a tough guy. And he chose to follow Christ. He'd been wounded and a cannonball damaged his leg. But it's a great story, St. Ignatius of Loyola. Oh, there's a great painting of him. I'll show you maybe the painting. Well, I'll just show you this little more, and then we're going to call it a day in a moment. The best holiday of the year is obviously Christmas. Okay, and it's a perfect example. Christmas is a perfect example of what Christianity does. If it wasn't for Christianity and Christmas, December 25th would just be another cold winter day with a short amount of light in it. But the Christians, with all their Christmas lights, they light up the world. They're the joy of the world. They create all the beautiful art. Almost all, 99.9% of it comes from the Christians. You're driving home, you had a long day at work, and you see all the beautiful Christmas lights. It puts you in a good mood. It gives you hope. It makes you realize there's still mankind. We're not always got some billionaire pervert telling us what to do. There's a lot of people, and Christ is an appeal to an outside authority that has, moral foundations that are everlasting and they're good. So it takes a cold winter day, makes it the best day of the year. The families get together. I'll just show you a couple paintings of Christmas, then we'll call it a day. So here is Christmas Morning by Waldmuller, 1844. Everybody's happy, and you don't need fancy stuff. Kids are happy to play with a box or a trinket. They don't need big, expensive toys. Okay. That's from 1844. And here is a guy in prayer at Christmas Mass. Here, this one is called Christmas Prayers by Henry Bacon from 1912. Everybody's got something to pray about, their missed loved ones. Here is Christmas Tree by Albert Chevalier Taylor. Okay. And I can remember back in the days when I was a kid, Christmas was a big event. There were tons of people at the house and running around and crazy at party. This is Christmas Party by Robert Wilkie, 1890. That's what it was like. It was a big party with a madhouse, okay? Nowadays, everybody's divorced. Nobody talks to each other. All the wives hate each other, so you can't do anything. The guys, men don't care. We're just happy to go along and chat. And a guy is happy to talk to, whoever's there. You stay away from somebody maybe if you don't like them, but we're pretty happy. The women got all these little things. No, we're not going to your sister's house. No, we're not going to your brother's house. No, we're not going to your brother's house. We're going to my parents' house, and that's it. If you want to go somewhere else, you go on your own. That's what it's like Christmas is like now. Back when my mom was alive, my mom was on the phone, weeks in advance. Because, also my mom didn't have to work. She had more time. She's calling up all the relatives. Come to my house. Come to my house. I want you to come to my house. And we'd have all these people there. It was so great back in the day. It's nice when the man works and the woman runs the house. It's so much better. All this feminism stuff I think is insane. Why would you want to work? I wish I didn't have to work. I wish I was a free man just to study what I want, do what I want. But no, I got to work because I got to pay the bills, okay? Most families are so poor that the husband and the wife have to work nowadays. Back when I was young, America was wealthy. The wife didn't have to work if she didn't want to. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you found that enjoyable and